everyone, my name is Vina, aka Miss WC Reader, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my January reading wrap up. Let's get right into everything that I read during the month. I read a lot of children's books like I always do. I was actually reading a little bit more because I was doing it for a blog post that by the time this video is up should already be up. But I didn't track everything in Goodreads that I read because some I was just speeding through. I did want to talk about a few of them though. This one is Sohi and Loey. This is an advanced reader copy that I received from Amazon Publishing. It comes out, let me see when it comes out. April 22nd. So this one is by Anna Kang, illustrated by Christopher Wayant. This is about a girl who is allergic to pet dander, so she has to get a special kind of pet she isn't allergic to, and she finds a new friend in Loey, a snake. So this is just cute and funny. I think the kids will love it because they usually love these kind of funny, weird types of picture books. And then I was very happy to discover another early reader series. This one is centered around different kids sports, so there's a variety of books to choose from, which is going to be really awesome for the kids. So I read Ski Team Struggle by Diana L. Mann, illustrated by Sophie Eves. This was just one of the ones that I read from this series. I sped through a couple of them actually. But this one follows Maddie. She is joining the ski team for the first time. She's having trouble getting used to the sport, but with practice and determination, she finds that she can increase her speed, and she has to actually get over a little bit of jealousy against her teammate because her teammate is so much faster than her. So it's just a really cute series about trying different sports. It's diverse, so you see children of all different races and colors trying these new sports, which is important for the kids to see themselves. And it teaches them lessons about when you are participating in sports, things aren't going to always go your way. You might not be instantly great at it, but you need to push forward and keep going. And I read more of the Beau at the Buzz books. So these are written by Elliott Smith, illustrated by Subi Rosa. I read Beau and the Street Artist, where the Buzz is tagged with some graffiti, and they end up doing something to turn a negative into a positive by turning it into a mural where everyone in the neighborhood is able to participate and create something beautiful. So I actually like that they didn't just scrub it and get rid of it. They were able to refashion the street art into another design. And I read Beau and the Clubhouse Crew. In this one, Beau and his friends are cleaning up a clubhouse. They wanted a tree house at first, but there's really no good trees in their neighborhood. So they end up getting an old shed and kind of making it into a community clubhouse so everyone can come and play. I also read Jollof Day, which is by Bernard Mensa, illustrated by Annalise Barber-Up. So this is about a Ghanaian American boy who is very excited because this is the day in the month where they make jollof rice. Jollof rice is a staple dish, and he bonds with his father through making this dish and mixing the ingredients, just making sure it's right. He's a little bit older now, so he's getting to do a little bit more in the kitchen. So it's just a cute bonding moment between family. I was doing one of those Audible free trials. I don't have the need to get Audible full time right now, just because between the library and Libro FM, I just get a lot of audiobooks, so I don't feel the need to get Audible right now just because I wasn't really using Audible as much. But I do kind of miss like getting access to the Audible originals, and there's just certain audiobooks that are exclusive to Audible that I'm like, I wish I could get, but that's okay. I decided to do the free trial just to listen to a couple of books, and I listened to The Starter Acts by Mia Sosa, and this one is just an Audible exclusive. It is actually a little bit longer than I expected because the last one that I had read from her from Audible was a novella. So this was more a full length novel. And it follows Vanessa Cordero. She had this business in college where she would have people hire her to be like this awful, terrible girlfriend who would drive men crazy, and then they would break up and the next woman comes and swoops in and she's like the perfect girlfriend in comparison, so he gets to see what he didn't know he needed. She gave that up in college. Now, like, fast forward years later, she just moved back to New York from Chicago after a relationship went south, and she runs into an old college classmate that used her services, and her sister gets this idea that she should become a starter X again and do it for this her best friend's brother who she's always had a crush on. And she tells her, she's like, that's weird, that's not gonna work. How am I going to date him and then you're my sister and you're just gonna swoop in? And she's like, no, it'll be fine. So even though she knows it's not going to work at all, she agrees to do it, and she starts dating this guy, and they quickly have a lot of chemistry. Now, this guy, Jason, he catches on because he and his sister overhear them talking about this plan. So I like that it wasn't a long drawn out thing. It's pretty much like right away he catches on and he decides that he's going to play her back. So they're toying with each other throughout the book. I had read a fake dating romance previously from Mia Sosa that I didn't love because, again, there was just no reason to fake date. It was another situation where it was just like everybody knew it was wrong and it was unbelievable and they still went through with it. This one was a little bit more believable of a situation than that, and I like that she took it in a different direction in that, like, he already knew what she was trying to do. So they were just like trying to one up each other at certain points. This was a little bit funnier. And overall, I had a good time with this one. I think it's just like a quick, simple, very easy palate cleanser. I read The Scorpion Queen by Mina Fears. This one was comped to Uprooted and Children of Blood and Bone. I never read Uprooted, so I can't speak on that. I've read Children of Blood and Bone. I think the only thing similar to it in Children of Blood and Bone, honestly, was just that it's African inspired. But other than that, it's pretty very different. In this one, we are following this young girl. Her name is Ami, and she was engaged to be married, and she kind of fell in love with the guy she was engaged to be married with, so she was super excited about this engagement. Then her sister says that she was having an affair with someone in the palace, and it was really her sister who was having the affair and blamed her because her sister is already married. So her sister throws her under the bus, and shame is upon her. Engagement is called off. Her parents are like, you have to pay us back the bride price. Like, she is an outcast, and she ends up getting this job in the palace as a servant, which she is the daughter of a nobleman, so going from that position to a servant is like really hard. So we are following her on her first day of this new job in this terrible life, and she's in the palace sister ends up showing up with her husband. She's really mad, and her sister's like, you know, I had to throw you under the bus because there magic exists, and I had this guy teaching me magic, and I didn't think that he would brag, and I also know that your future husband's father is very abusive to his son's wives, and I didn't want that for you. So she is still like raging because she's like, you could have came up with a better plan than that, you know. And so now she and her ex-fiance are conspiring together because there is the set of trials in the kingdom to win the hand of the princess that she's serving. And nobody survived these trials because it's basically impossible. You have to stop yourself from being boiled alive. They find this magical map and find out there is this way that they can win the trials. And if they win the trials, they can get money. If they get money, they can run off together. So that's the plan that they're trying to stick to. And they go on a little bit of an adventure trying to find this thing that'll save them from being boiled alive so that they can win the trials. So this was a pretty straightforward YA fantasy, which I appreciated because lately I feel like YA fantasy is just so convoluted for no reason, and it's like lots of words and confusion, but not necessarily a strong story. This is good for like the ones who are just starting in fantasy, and especially on the lower end of YA. This is a lot more accessible than some of the bigger tomes because it's also shorter too. Like I said, it's straightforward, it's evenly paced, a likable enough main character. It didn't have that purple prose bogging the story down, so I really appreciated that. And I had a pretty solid time reading this one. I read it pretty quickly. This is played by Naima Simone. So I loved Church Girl last year, so I wanted to read Played because I was kind of intrigued by the hockey aspect on it, but I didn't want to read a hockey romance that didn't have diversity in it. So seeing two black people in a hockey romance just like piqued my interest. Now, the main character in this female main character is black, and the male main character is biracial. She had experienced a loss with the death of her fiance, and he also experienced loss with the death of his wife. So they're still both in a grieving state. And for her, she hasn't been with anyone since that death. He's been with some women, but it hasn't been anything serious. It's just been like fucking and going. So this book is all about them kind of healing from their trauma and grief and being able to open up again to somebody new and experience like love and pleasure and all those things again. I didn't love this one as much as Church Girl. I thought it was okay. I felt like it had Naima Simone's signature sex scenes, though, like really spicy. That was well done. But it wasn't my like favorite. It was an okay time. If you're looking for something like sports romance, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this one because while there was drama and stuff to keep you interested, and there was a little bit of hockey because it's his job, there wasn't a lot of it. You didn't get like the excitement of being at the games and stuff like that. This is Beautiful Broken Love. This one is by Shanora Williams. This is my first Shanora Williams read. I am very curious to read her thriller next. This is a romance. This also deals with grief. So in this one we are following our main character, Davina, and she is grieving the loss of her husband. He died of cancer, and she meets this basketball player whose name is Deke, and they're working together for her brand. She owns her own skincare brand, he's supposed to be like the celebrity face of it. He starts flirting with her. He even takes a lower deal just so he can spend more time with her because she really doesn't have the budget for him that he would normally demand. And, you know, they start texting a lot. He feels like she's opening up and then she's closing off again. And he really helps her understand that it's okay to start moving on and to feel things again. And even though you had that husband who was the love of your life, you can have another love again. You can want to experience sex and desire and all the things while also getting over your grief, because she's just like thrown herself into work and doesn't really want to like live life to the fullest anymore. I enjoyed this one. I thought it was pretty well done. Really, like, if you are for like you want a little sauce in your sex scenes, it like definitely had it more so than a lot of the other trad romances that I usually read. But overall, I did really enjoy the story of two people bonding together. Technically, this would also be sports romance. Um, as far as the basketball stuff, I won't say that like it was like in your face. Like, it was there. Like, we meet the different players, go to different events and stuff, but it's not like as heavy dealing with the stuff on the court. He could have been in like a different profession, and I don't think it would have made too much of a difference. So those are the books that I read during the month of January. Are you interested in any of them? Did you read any of them? If you did, let me know in the comment section below. If you're not sure what to comment, comment a heart because Valentine's Day is right around the corner. If you like this video, make sure and hit that like button. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!